Yeah, we're good.
Good. It's 8:59. Not quite. At 30 seconds. We will. Oh, well, I could just announce that when we get there. It's gonna tip pretty soon. Double there it is. It's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna call a meeting of the Codington County Commissioners to order. If you'd please rise, I'll have Brenda lead us in a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 2 is a call for public comment. If anyone has public comment, they can do so when we get to the time in person, or we have 2 telephone numbers, 605-882-6248 or 605-882-6297. And if you have a cell phone, could you please silence it? And if you need to take a call, could you do it in the hallway, please? Thank you. Item 3. Is there any conflict of interest?
No. No.
Okay. Item 4, number 4, need a motion to approve the agenda
So
for
moved.
June 25th. Motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, need a motion to approve the June 18th meeting.
So move.
Motion by Johnson. Second by Gable. Is there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6. We need action to authorize chair to sign application for the BGA Comprehensive Opiate Stimulant and Substance Use Site-Based Program Grant. Come on up, Sarah.
Morning, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
I have an overview of this grant application for you. So this application is a result of the initial grant that we received, the Reaching Rural grant, where a group of us went to Washington DC to learn more about opportunities to move our community forward. I had mentioned at my previous reports that they had initially told us we may be eligible for $100,000. While we were there, it was kind of the best form of a bait and switch. They said, well, actually, we're hoping that your community will apply for these $1 million grants. And so little did we know that we had stumbled upon this great opportunity for our community. And so with that, we've been encouraged by both our coaches through the Reaching Rural grant, as well as Erin Sorska, who is the Center for Rural Health Improvement Director. She has a grant writer, had also encouraged us. She felt like our community was set up really well with all of the work that's happened in the past few years to apply for this grant. And so she has a grant writer who's helped us in the drafting of the grant. And with that, I would request permission that the county applies for this grant. It's over $1 million over a span of 3 years. It's required that it be run through a government organization. Some of our team members are here today too. Lee is also a member of that team. So if you have questions about it, I would be happy to answer it. The grant goal is to address issues for people involved in the legal system who have substance use issues. And so that's with the opioid stimulant and substance use programs. Things that we're looking at in the grant is some peer support services, case management services, and some other pre-trial diversion opportunities and some different things like that. I do have the narrative. It's 16 pages. And so if you want some like reading, but I'd be happy to leave a couple copies of it if you want some copies of that. But that's what we're looking at right now. The grant itself is due July 8th, but there's a couple components of it that we have to submit July 1st. Like we have to submit a couple documents so that we can actually apply for the grant.
So just a question, Mr. Chair. So the motion says the action authorizes the chair to sign the application. So those, so we need to become, we need for him to sign that, for the chair to sign something or?
Yeah, so he will need to sign, there's two things that he signed this week to be able to to have the opportunity.
To move the process ahead.
Yeah, and then their actual grant application, it's due July 8th, but with the holiday, our goal is actually July 3rd to submit the grant.
So there is no cost to the county. It's just
No.
pass through
No,
basically.
this is not a matching grant. We did also have a meeting last Friday. Our coaches came to town, the coaches from Richmond Rural came to town, coordinated a meeting, and we had about 20 people there or so from a diversity of different representatives across the community. And everybody, these were the main issues that we identified as well.
I think it's great. And I'll make a motion to authorize the chair to sign the application.
I'll second it.
Motion by Van Duzen, second by Johnson. To move forward with this, the signing of it. Any more questions for anybody?
So you remember the stepping up initiative, some, I think, few of us might remember, but that was when we picked on some mental illness issues in jails. But it didn't it was mostly kind of resources, information resources. It didn't really come with a lot of funding. So this is kind of like that, but it's aimed at substance abuse, but it has a lot more stuff with it potentially. So I guess it will be interesting to see.
It's a big deal for our community. the region.
Any more questions or? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
We wouldn't have done it without you.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, we'll move down to number 7, our monthly reports. Sherry, if you want to come up. No, we're happy you're here.
All right, Sherry, you wanna hit the button and turn the light on, or is it on?
The little one. There you go.
Oh, so we had a pretty busy month in May. We hosted a DR1 class for our search and rescue team. We had 18 people on the team go through a class, and then there was a couple guys from Huron. Would like to thank the Watertown Fire Department. They allowed us to use their classroom and use some medical equipment, and then they also supported us by sending an ambulance out when the guys did the diving at the lake. So it was a interesting class, the first one I've hosted, and it was really valuable training, and a lot of new members were there. So Andrew's been working through getting the search and rescue pickups all serviced and ready to go for the year. We had our monthly meeting with Randy on Zoom, our regional coordinator, and earlier this month, Andrew presented about 48 to 12-year-olds weather awareness at the farm safety program through the 4-H. And then we assisted Lark with their field day last week. We gave them a couple generators to help run their towers and that kind of stuff. So I've been working my way through the quarterly report paperwork and trying to get all of that done ahead of time. And so that's been about us, and a couple severe weather systems coming through. So
Yeah. Hopefully those are done now. We'll see.
hopefully.
Has there been any rumor or anything from down south? I know a few years ago, Dakota Dunes reached out and asked for some assistance with.
So the
Search
South
and
Dakota
rescue.
IMAT team is on the ground down at McCook Lake, helping out down there. And I know the state has opened up a disaster for the southern counties with the flooding. They're kind of waiting for the numbers to all come in and get the paperwork together and stuff, but we didn't have enough here to.
Yeah.
I was happy but sad that they're getting that, but happy that we did not get all of that rain.
Yeah.
So
Okay, good.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks, Sherry.
Come on up. Yep, you are next.
Howell 1.8.
Hi,
Good.
Brad. I didn't speed coming in this morning either.
No, you did pretty good. You did pretty good. I was
Yeah.
watching you close.
He followed me all the way in and I didn't realize it was him until he got to the house.
I was waving at you.
Yeah. No red light, red lights.
That's a bonus, right? All right. Well, we'll start out with our monthly commissary balance sheet here. If you look at the very top there, you'll see for the bank balance end of May was $21,151.63. At the time we took the snapshot, the ATM and booking kiosk had $1,176.41 in there, for a grand total of $22,328.04. Of that, there was residence balances of $1,687.18. Commissary items, not dispersed there, $3,052.59. The funds balance of $17,588.27 brings us back to the $22,328.04. If you look on the bottom down there, you'll see we made 30% commission on our $3,661.93 that was sold. That was for commissary. So that was $1,098.58 that we made on commission for that. And then if you combine the total phone kiosk commission along with our commissary commission, that was a total of $4,004.25. So if you add those two numbers together, it brings it to $19,425, puts us back to the $15,000 that we started with. Jump to the next page there. Got our monthly balance sheet for the month of May for our checkbook. Bank balance end of May was $10,325.51. Copy fees collected were $8. Sheriff's fees collected $9,028.01. Warrant fees collected were $400. For a total of $9,436.01. Which leaves us at our $889.50 that we had in there. Go to the next page there. Lee's got it pulled up on the screen. You'll be able to see some sheriff's office activity up on top there. Our cases and calls for service for the month of May were 571. There was 10 accident reports, state reports that were completed. 67 warrants were served. 255 civil papers were served, and there was 4,588 transport miles that were put on. That was a total of 19 trips and 29 people that were transported. It was a busy month for transports. Scroll down to the middle of the page there. We'll talk about some of the jail activity. Our ADP, our average daily population for the month of May was 46.71. Our high ADP was 53. That was on the 8th. Our low ADP was 41, and that was on the 17th. On the 24/7 program on the Scram bracelet, we had 20 people on the Scram bracelet, 13 people on remote breath, 37 people on the twice daily PBTs, and 51 people on the twice weekly UAs, for a grand total of 123 people. Also include the 2 people on the sweat patch there. Bookings for the month of May were 210, just a little bit less, but if you look in line, it's staying with the average. So we jump down to the out of county contracts. We're collected $5,395. Work release fees, $800. 24/7 fees, $8,683.75. And scram fees collected or $3,626. You'll see the out of county contracts number kind of come down a little bit. We don't have a whole lot of out of county contracts that are housing with us anymore because of our price rate. We do have a lot of those, that 5,395, a lot of that would be the DOC, which are parolees that are being held here by the state. That's a set rate that they pay us. That's set by legislature.
Remember what the rate is?
That is $95 right now. So
What is our out of county contract rate?
it's 130.
Okay.
Right now it costs $129.67 as of per last year to house an inmate. That's with utilities and everything that costs, everything we've done as of last year. So any questions on that? All right. Got just a couple things here.
We've got Alice training kind of set up for the courthouse staff and the state staff here. We're shooting for an October 10th training date for that. Their courts will be in recess, going to their conferences and whatnot. So we're hoping to shoot for October 10th so we can get all our county staff and everybody trained up on Alice training, people that haven't made it before. Jail, we still have no AC. So yesterday was a brutal day for our inmates and our staff running around back there. So if you see them, thank them, because when you have no heat and a lot of inmates, a lot of people, tensions kind of, you can only imagine. So, but
I thought that was supposed to be up a week ago or what they
I-
estimated.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
construction. Just go with that.
Yep.
We all know how construction works, so. And then I recently had Department of Homeland Security actually come in and we did a outside security assessment of the courthouse, someone other than the sheriff, just to kind of get a good basis of how the county, how we're doing on that. I should be getting the results back, but the one thing that I heard overwhelmingly was I'm gonna send a lot of people up here from other counties to look at what you guys are doing. So we should be getting that back here soon. There was a few things with cameras and a few things that we can discuss when we get that report back, but of course, that'll be a security thing, so we'll discuss that in exec session when we get that back. But he was saying that we're kind of the model for what the state has set, so kudos to us for what we've done with Dave and having our security down there and some of the steps that we've taken with the alarms and everything that we got going. We're ahead of the ball in South Dakota, so that's great.
Thank you for doing that.
So,
Yeah, that's super, Brad.
yep. So, yeah, that's all I've got. Unless you guys have any other questions
So CCJC, right, so.
at 5:30, yep. All right.
Okay,
Busy.
well, thank
Thanks,
you.
Brad.
Okay, we'll move down to item 8, discussion possible action to approve human resources contract effective July 1st, 2024.
You see who showed up just in time?
How does she do that?
I don't know.
Just in time, yeah. Morning, Commissioners,
Morning.
here's the original one. Okay, so I'm passing out in front of you the current proposed contract, and then there is a copy of last year's behind that in case you want that for reference. Most of the contract terms stay the same as what they were before. You'll see under A, number 2 was added, as serving as the Title VI coordinator for the county. I have been in that role for a little while, but we haven't stipulated on the contract, so we got that added in there. Of course, the dates were updated for the term, so this is starting July 1st, 2024 and going through June 30th, 2025. And then the terms of payment, the rate was updated from $3,520 to $3,700. And I think all the rest remains the same.
Motion by Gable, second by Waterman. Any further discussion?
Still a great deal.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Looking forward
Yes.
to working with you another year. Appreciate it, Commissioner.
Yes, thanks, Natalie.
Thank you.
Can't hire any.
Okay, number 10, note office closures for July 4th and 5th.
Oh, that's number
Oh.
9.
Yeah.
Sorry, skipped one.
You're moving along pretty.
Yeah, I was doing pretty good. I'm really jumping ahead. Okay, number 9, discussion possible action to authorize chair to sign annual Department of Health WIC contract.
Okay, you have that in your packet. It's a long document, not too many changes. Basically, this contract, we have a subcontract that will run from June 1st to September 30th. And that amount is $19,842.33. And then the actual contract will start. Okay, where did I have that? I have this all organized. Maybe you can
So,
find it.
page
So
7.
it will go from
from the October
First,
October first to the end of May 2025. So then actually the total amount of the contract will be $59,527.
Will that include the attachment A and then policy 9? And can we do that all in one motion?
I just had it. This is all one, it's all part of that contract.
Yeah.
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 yep, just one.
I'll move to approve the chair to sign.
I'll second the
A
motion.
motion by Johnson, second by Van Duzen, to sign this annual Department of Health WIC contract. Any more discussion or questions?
No, just sure, some of this is grant stuff, the grant, bit of grant money, right, but you know, there's important, at least at the beginning of the weekend.
Right, the amount, yes, from the state, and then if there's a difference, I mean, the county is still paying some to support that with individual. But that's what the state has agreed to pay per visit or whatever, what was that, 800 or $8.11 per hour or whatever.
Page 7 has, yeah, so. I think it's mostly covered by. As I
State
understand
grant.
what I'm reading, but mostly
Yeah.
covered by this big grant,
Yes.
so.
But the people did take the time to, I know you didn't read it word for word, but the Farm Bill gets involved with this, so. Where
Yeah.
big bulk of the share of the money comes from.
Mhm.
So when you're talking about the Farm Bill out there, most people think, well, talk about crops and livestock and so on, and here it's WIC program. This is the big chunk of the Farm Bill right now, right here. And there it is.
Any more questions? Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll move to number 10.
All right, so as per policy, we do follow what the governor does as far as holidays, and this year she also did make Friday the 5th as an administrative day. So our courthouse and all county offices will be closed Thursday and Friday, July 4th and 5th of next week. Just to note it.
Okay,
No abatements.
no abatements. Number 12.
The only claims we have are the salary claims for June, and that total is $757,441.12.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Gable, to approve the claims for payment, salaries. Any more questions? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We have nothing for 13, 14, or 15.
Okay, number 16, public notice. Is there a possible quorum?
Just, it's on the agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, okay.
Just the CCJC meeting, so just an advisory committee tonight. So last meeting was in March, so we've been doing a lot of work for meetings with the architects and our architecture rep and the construction managers, and then various members of the Justice Advisory Committee have been joining in to try to come up with a concept. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. It's kind of the basic way forward at this point. You know, we're not talking about floor plans, we're just kind of the number of beds, how much we think it's going to cost. You know, kind of big broad brush. This is kind of the idea. So that and see, you know, then we're going to talk about it as a committee, and then the idea is that the committee will, you know, talk about it as members of the county, members of the public, you know, members, you know, people that work for the county commissioners, the sheriff, and members of the public, and say, yeah, this is what we want to recommend to us as a body, you know, to the county and to the commissioners. Does that make sense?
Yes. Any other,
Yes, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, there'll be a STIP meeting, and that'll be hosted by the First District. It'll be held up at First District. For those of you that have not attended this is when DOT comes in and sits down with us and gives us kind of a snapshot of all of the state highway work that'll be done in the next period of years, and it's always kind of interesting, you know, to look and see if you've been driven. I still think that it's not in this STIP program, but the worst street in Waterton has to be this one right on the south side of the courthouse here. We're talking with somebody that drove up here with me this morning, and we said, this is ridiculous, but there's some roads out in the state, and if you travel around the area much, then you get to the STIP program, the first thing I do is I look, see if that's on that list somewhere, if it's gonna show up, but it's interesting, so I think you were supposed to notify Susie, the secretary up there, if you're going to attend, but I'm sure it's not too late.
They don't have to give you donuts too. So
What's
they
that?
usually have donuts as well, so. That's how you attract commissioners from other counties.
Yeah, it brings in quite a few people from other counties
Tomorrow is that,
at 10. And then tomorrow night is.
That's today.
Friday
That's
the-
our.
Oh, that's today.
Today at noon. There's a quorum.
Then tomorrow night at, it's planning and zoning. That's at 7:30 in the evening. It's kind of late for some of us.
Did you want to mention, Randy? There could be a quorum of commissioners today at noon for a working lunch with Sanford and Cranes Insurance individuals
and that's at the.
at noon at the gas. All right.
Okay. Number 17, any old business?
I might mention, so we've had our third recount yesterday and no changes so far in any of the recounts. We have one more now Thursday morning, and that will complete our recounts for the primary election.
Okay, what 3 have you done?
County Commissioner, State's Attorney, and District 4 Senate. So it's District 5 State Representative is on Thursday morning.
Any other old business? Moving down to 18, any new business? Number 19. It's time for the open public comment. Not seeing any. Any commissioner comments? Okay, moving down to 20, there is a need for executive session. What was the personnel? So that's number 1.
Move to adjourn to, I move to, adjourn to executive session.
Motion by Johnson,
Second to go into the session.
second by Gable. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go into executive session.
No action afterwards.